Chair recognizes the honourable member for St. Anne's.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in 2002, there was an agreement establishing the Corporacion Andina de Fomento institution. And when you look at the bill that's proposed here on the 6th page at Section 1, it refers to the Bahamas shall subscribe 3,521 Series C shares corresponding to the ordinary capital of CAF, each share having a net worth value of $14,200 of the United States of America. The aggregate subscription price of the shares is $49,998,200 of the United States of America. Mr. Deputy Speaker, goes on to say the rights, obligations, and characteristics of Series C shares are described in the agreement establishing CAF, the general regulations. I pulled up that agreement online, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and mention of Schedule C is found on the 11th page. And it reads that Series C, composed of 694,000 registered shares with a value of 5,000 United States dollars each, for a total amount of $3,470,000,000 United States dollars, the subscription of which corresponds to legal entities or individuals, persons outside of the member countries. So in 2022, the value of Series C shares was 5,000. Yet the minister moving the motion today has said that we're paying 4 times as much, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and we're paying $14,200 per share. Yes, that is what he said. Said we're paying 4 times as much. I made a listing of some of the comments he made until the listing got to be too much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. So it's curious to understand why, in fact, as the mover, member for Pinewood, did say we're, in fact, having the Bahamas pay 4 times the value. Another interesting thing, Mr. Deputy Speaker, outside of what has been commented by Marco City and East Grand Bahama, is that this institution is based in Caracas, Venezuela, Mr. Deputy Speaker, which is a major producer of oil in the world, not just the region. If you can recall back to when the good member at the time, Leslie Miller, was member for one of the constituencies in Nassau, I think it was Tall Pines, Mr. Deputy Speaker, but he served as director of PEC. He had indicated that we might be getting fuel from Venezuela. The Prime Minister is traveling around the country, Mr. Deputy Speaker, on a wicket that the world needs to pay. These large carbon-emitting nations need to pay for the climate change and the impact that it's having on our region. Yet here we are now, Mr. Deputy Speaker, on the other hand, investing in entities that provide loans and have assets and have presences in these large carbon-emitting regions, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It's a bit of a conflict, and, Mr. Deputy Speaker, it's a clear indication of where our priorities lie. It's also curious, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to note that recently in 2022, the CAF had rolled out something, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that I think was seen to be quite attractive to this administration, and that was that in 2022, it rolled out a program that would have over $300 million available for green climate change initiatives, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It said as part of the environmental initiatives in 2022, CAF funded the National Climate Change Policy Support Program in the order of $320 million. Panama will continue fostering the development of infrastructure for physical and functional integration, such as the hub logistics. But this is an entity in the region, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that has created a fund or has created an amount of money, $320 million, that it's going to set aside for its National Climate Change Policy Support Program. I don't want to hear, Mr. Deputy Speaker, after 3 years of flying around the world to COP27, COP26, even the Attorney General, after the FTX scandal, somehow appeared in Egypt like he needed to be there for climate change discussions. But I don't want to hear, after 3 years of flying around the world with massive delegations, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that we now have funding, and it's because of the great work and the relationships that have been built, when in fact, if we get it through this relationship that we're establishing with CAF, it's because we've given them $50 million, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It's because we've given them $50 million, and the fact that we're doing it in 2 installments, and the fact that we're giving them $50 million, $25 million now, $25 million next year, does that mean that we don't actually get proper control of our shares until the second installment has been made? You don't move into the house, you don't get to have occupation of a home until you made that final balance payment. So that could be 2 years down the road before we see anything, Mr. Deputy Speaker. No member from the government side has said a word about it to date. And have we fully done our due diligence on CAF, Mr. Deputy Speaker, or are we excited about what we're going to get for our short-term problems that we're overlooking the long-term problems? If we haven't done our proper due diligence on CAF, Mr. Deputy Speaker, and we're looking to get funds from them out of their National Climate Change Policy Support Program, have they done due diligence on us, Mr. Deputy Speaker? You can look around in our country and see some of the climate change issues that we're simply sitting back on. We have a barge and a tugboat that are embedded in a reef in Abaco that still haven't been removed to this day. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as has been brought to my attention by my constituents, we also have an issue going on in Athol Island. In Athol Island, Mr. Deputy Speaker, which had previously been declared Athol Island Marine Protected Area, we have a major development project going on right now where clear cutting has occurred, native coppice has been removed, and piles and piles of barge, sand, and materials have been deposited on this island. I wish the member for South and Central Andros was here today, because he would be able to tell us, since this is seen as Crown land, who actually has the lease for this land. I'm told that it's approximately 4 acres of land, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Who has the lease for this massive parcel of Crown land that sits in a marine protected area? You have a plan at the bottom here, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It's got Athol Island. That's the entire length of the island, which provides great protection to Nassau Harbor, the capital, Mr. Deputy Speaker. And you're going to find, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if somebody goes and carries out an inspection, that there has been demolition of the native limestone, essentially the native seawall, Mr. Deputy Speaker, clear cutting of a path going entirely across a great portion of the island. And who has it, and why do they have it? This is an offense. This is a marine protected area. This is a great travesty to our environment, Mr. Deputy Speaker. And at the same time, you have a prime minister going around the world telling everybody else that they're responsible and they need to pay, yet here we are in our own country causing damage each and every day under this Blueprint for Pain PLP administration. Yes, sir. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the time has come, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The time has come, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for this administration to take the job seriously or pack their bags and take them out of cabinet. The people of the Bahamas, Mr. Deputy Speaker, deserve the best that they can receive in this great Commonwealth. And again, Mr. Deputy Speaker, with this 4-acre demolition of a marine habitat in the Bahamas, I'm stating once again, they've been proven not to be ready for the task and are actually doing more damage than they are doing good. With those comments, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the member for St. Anne's, as he always respects you, will now rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member.